All right, so we are now taking the train to the other side of the park, which I've never I don't think I've actually ridden on a train in any of the park tours that I've done, just because they're normally not as interactive as this one is.
Hmm.
And normally you don't get wet when you're on the train.
Yeah, that was my bad. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's kind of cool to be honest. This is really cool how it just travels up the mountain like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
just the
think.
interaction as well, which is quite a nice touch. It gives something to look at both ways while you're on the log flume and while you're on the train.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I
And
think I placed the train tracks, and then you made the log flume after, right, Tommy?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So you built the log flume close to it, so that it would have that interaction.
Mm. And then it's just a transition from coming out of that tunnel where the jungle trees start to slowly fade out, and then you enter these woodland kind of trees.
yeah, you can definitely tell. Definitely. Looks really cool. Yeah, I mean this is like you said, it's very you can easily tell which part of the park you're in.
Mm.
So,
Hmm.
I mean, we would have liked to do more, but this was the last minute thing with the counter, that we couldn't really add much much
Yeah.
more
yeah.
to
I
decorate this.
Yeah, because I probably would have fleshed this out a little more with foliage.
Yeah. I mean, I think it looks realistic though. I mean, you're not always going to have every single spot covered with foliage, right?
That's
Um
true.
I mean, maybe adding some rocks here and there. Which, by the way, if y'all don't mind, while we're watching this, there's a um, Solaris is a new YouTuber. He plays on PC, but he's got 3 videos now out of. He's doing like a part kind of based off of like a Yellowstone type, and
Oh yeah.
his third episode is really good in terms of showing what he does with kind of foliage and how to create mountains. And one thing he talked about is to kind of create this depth perception, right? Where oh gosh, I forgot it took me off that. So basically, when you're closer to the mountains, you have the trees a little bit closer to the ground instead of higher off the ground because it gives the illusion from further away that the mountain's taller than it is.
Mm.
And so it's like,
Mm.
oh, that's kind of a cool idea. But now back to this amazing log cabin. Just like, what in the world, TJ? This is insane.
Yeah, that was the first thing I built for the park.
It used to be in the front, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was the guests would enter through that.
So just so y'all know, this alone is 2,400 pieces, which is about 4% of the counter on the PS5. So about 6%. So this building alone would take up 6% of your build space on a PS4. Like, that's insane.
Th- that was just for the shell too, because I didn't group the whole thing. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Insane. Oh, I think you did show me. It was a couple, like a month ago or so, but this is insane. And I like your use of kind of trying to custom make fans there. So that's really, really cool.
oh, I wasn't trying to go for fans, but
Oh, well, I thought, what were you going for? Just for,
I just chandelier, like a woody type chandelier.
I mean, that makes more sense than me saying fans because it's got lights on them. So that makes a lot more sense. But I think just how many different little kind of beams you had on it kind of made me think of a fan. But this isn't.
Mm.
Oh, and you got a little reception area. That
Yeah,
is
it's
cool.
essentially, and there's a hotel over there, so it's essentially like uh, a lodge, I
Yeah,
guess.
like
If
right
you,
there.
yeah,
Yeah. Whew, I don't even want to know how long this took you. So,
yeah,
yeah. Um, yeah, that's super cool though. Really impressed with that. And then also
it would.
too, I know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, after you look at this, it would be good to look at the cabins to the left.
Okay. Now I can't really click on it individually because since we're over the counter it won't let me, but these are actually just gemstones that he used. Because I wondered this too when I first saw this. Like, it's like they only give us rectangular or square glass pieces, so it's kind of like how do you get glass in small areas like this? and using those gemstones, I think, is a really amazing touch.
Definitely.
Thank you. I got that from a PC user.
Okay. Did you use that on your
Yeah.
SpongeBob part for the dome, right?
Yes, I did. That one was so many, I couldn't even save it as one blueprint.
You talking about these cabins over this way?
Yeah.
Is there a? I guess we'll just go over
Yeah, there's
here.
not really a path.
Now I know what these are supposed to represent, but do you want to tell what these cabins are supposed to be? 'Cause aren't they?
Well, I mean, it's essentially like a take on Crystal Lake
Mm-hmm.
and the boat in the middle there with the pretend person drowning is supposed to be Jason. So,
Yeah, that's a really cool touch. And then you got
yeah,
the coaster going right there. I mean, that is a fantastic view.
it just swoops by.
Yeah, especially with how that turn looks too. Like it's got that kind of GCI look to it, or at least what I know about GCI coasters. But yeah, and then you got other cabins over here. So just a really cool touch.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that is very creative to have that aspect of it. She
Yeah,
got a. Oh, go ahead.
like Tommy mentioned, how cool it would be to have like a wooden coaster just like zipping through the trees at night.
Mm-hmm.
And I always like incorporating water. So I don't know, and thinking of a name for the coaster, like along with our spooky camp type feel we were going for, I kind of just Jason kind of just popped in my head.
Mm-hmm. There it goes. Perfect timing. Yeah, it's kind of. Even though I didn't get to ride the Beast at night when I went to Kings Island, I just always think of that kind of style of how cool it is for coasters to kind of go through the woods like that, those wooden coasters.
Hmm.
And so we got a little junior coaster here, which I like the station. Really fits the area. Ooh, we got a Ghostbusters, whatever that person is. It was weird for a second because that person behind, I didn't recognize that was an actual other person. So I was kind of like wondering what's
Hmm.
going on. Um, but yeah, so who made this junior coaster?
That was me.
Okay.
Yeah,
So let's
I did
see.
that and the station.
Okay, yeah, I like how you did the station. You also got a little bit of a operator's booth here. Which, by the way, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but Tommy, CM, and I noticed this last time, how they've got like writing here and stuff. Um, we had never noticed that before. You got the Planet
That's
Coaster
wild.
logo and the Planet Coaster there. Um, looks like they're making it look like it's like blueprints and stuff, but or directions.
That's neat. Yeah, I never noticed that before.
Yeah. Let's see. So this one, I feel like you got to do front bumper mode.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's. Oh my gosh, you got this coaster all green. It's so tough to get these junior coasters kind of to where it's all green like that.
Yeah. I think I've only managed that a few times.
Okay.
I have a problem. Like whenever I make coasters, like I have to have it in the green. Otherwise, that like random yellow, orange in the center just bugs my OCD too much.
Yeah. Are you like that too, Tommy? Or kind of when you're
I
creating a
use
coaster, how do you gauge, your
It
coaster?
used to be all about the green stats, but now it's more, to do with the G and all that, really, more than because the stats aren't true to. Like, I built a small coaster that doesn't do anything that was all green, and then I built like a really fast, uh, compact coaster, and it was like orange, so it just didn't make sense. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
this
started
is.
after.
Oh, sorry. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
after the rival contest, I started to look at the G's a lot better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, and I think for me, I try to look at it as you know, obviously I want to have it all in green, but to me, I want it to feel like, could this be a real life coaster? Does this kind of model, does this kind of resemble how these coaster types in real life kind of look, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
like, I know one thing for me is I kind of tend to have my chains on lift hills pretty slow because that's how they are in real life. So like that might
Mm.
keep it down from being in green, you know, just because it's like, well, you're going up a 200-foot hill at the 2 meters per second or whatever it is compared to 6, right? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I love this little area. You got this kind of little scary tree stump. Um, do you have lights in there at night?
Do I? I don't know. I think I forgot to put him there.
Oh, TJ, TJ, TJ. No, I'm just kidding,
Yeah.
man. Either way, it looks fantastic. So which area? Oops,
Tommy
hold
did
on.
that little climbing area over there.
Okay, I was trying to get it out of nighttime. There we go. So you did this little climbing section over here. You said, oh, it's like a zip line. Is that right?
Yeah, it's like a kind of treetop
Ropes
jungle
course.
course. Yeah, ropes course.
Okay, is that what are they called in the UK? Is it ropes course as well, or?
Yeah,
Did you?
we have like Go Ape is like a chain of what they do these, but yeah, like a high top rope course kind of thing. So
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It's funny you say go 8 because we've actually got, or at least we did, and I haven't checked on in a couple of years. We've actually got a go 8 ropes course here in Memphis. So that's pretty
oh
cool
really?
that it's same company that makes some of those that you were talking about in the UK.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I just love the vibe in this area, the kind of forest feel and um, how you mixed in the trees and stuff. Looks really good.
Mm,
So,
definitely.
um, so this is a cool restaurant area right here.
This is
Yeah.
yeah. This is Tommy.
Yeah, I was thinking I didn't want to guess, but I was thinking Tommy probably made this one because it seems like you did a lot of the stalls and stuff, a lot of a lot of the shops and stuff like that, and you got a custom
Yeah,
made
I
kitchen
wanted.
back here.
There is. I wanted to, kind of flesh this out a little bit more, but I kind of forgot about it. And then by the time I realised, it was too late. But it does the job and fills the space again. It's just a building, really. A few shops, a place to put shops, and a toilet, and that. So.
Hmm. Well, I love what you did here with the box lights to make it look like recess lighting.
Mm.
Instead, just using the area lights, and I've started to place the area lights in the ceiling. But I think this is a really cool look because it kind of gives that unique recess look to it. And I think
Hmm.
the outside of this is fantastic.
Thank you.
So, well, and the inside's fantastic too. And then I love this little seating area. Where does this path go? Does this just go to where we came from?
It's, yeah, it's just another bridge, another access point. It goes back
Okay.
to the kiddie area.
Yeah. It is crazy when I feel like with the build limit, you know, you got to really know ahead of time like okay, where can we maybe not go as detailed if I kind of run out of space at the end, right? um
Hmm.
because you don't want to have it seem like it's not finished. And I love this little play set. That's
Thank
really
you.
cool. Um,
Another great build from Tommy.
yeah, for sure. Um, I put in my park. I put NHs in my park just because I'll be honest, I was too lazy to make one of these things. Because I watched a video on YouTube of somebody doing one, and it was like a 20-minute video, and it seemed so tedious. And I was like, I don't really want to take the time to do this right now.
Yeah, it can
So
be a bit of a pain.
yeah.
But it looks awesome. And then I love this. You know, something just as simple as having this right here is really cool. So
Yeah, I stole the idea from another builder who had tyres. He made a kind of playground like this, and I just thought, oh, I can put tyres in the ground pretty easily. So,
yeah, for sure. For sure. Let's see. So what do we have here? Is this a flat ride?
yeah,
Yeah, it's a
Ferris
Ferris
wheel.
wheel.
Ferris wheel? Okay. Well, it's cool too how it's hidden. So you kind of, if you're on the Ferris wheel, I'm guessing you really don't see much until you get to this height. And
Mm-hmm.
The
that
only
mountain.
reason for the only reason for the Ferris wheel is for a sight line from the other side, which you'll see later on. That's pretty much the only reason why we put the Ferris wheel in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, oh,
It's a
I can
nice,
see a coaster.
sorry, it's a nice little pop up from behind the mansion there.
Mm-hmm. You said what? Oh, I would
Like,
get you. Yeah.
yeah, the view line.
Yeah. I see another, looks like uh, a Vekoma coaster right there.
There is. Mhm.
Mhm. So what's this building to the left? This
It's
massive
a flat
building.
ride inside. I mean, I didn't really theme the back of it, but it's just like a haunted kind of mansion. It
Okay.
was inspired by Red Dead Redemption. It looks probably better at night, I think. But
Oh, is this what you sent us
yeah,
pictures of a couple months ago?
yeah,
Oh wow, that looks awesome.
and then the Ferris wheel from like if you like look back, the only reason why we put the Ferris wheel in is it because it pops over the top of the mansion, so it's quite a nice viewpoint from a distance.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh wow, yeah. That does look really nice, especially with the lights on the Ferris wheel too.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, I see what you meant. So is this like a dark ride or is it just a flat ride?
Just a flat ride. I don't do
Okay.
dark rides anymore.
Did you play on PC at all, Tommy? Or
No, just console.
okay, well the way you said anymore kind of I guess it has been like a year since this game came out, but it still feels like hasn't been that long, I feel like. Um because we learned so many new things. Um love the lights here too. How you just um carried the same style and what'd you use there for the shade part of it? What's that piece? Do you remember?
That's a, it's a, it's another temple piece. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. Yeah,
I need to use that idea because that's really cool.
yeah, those are
So,
all custom. I didn't use it for the whole area, but this side
yeah.
of the pond, I
Yeah.
kind of used it.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's a lot of pieces, so that can add up when you got 12 for each one. Um
Yeah.
yeah. That is an awesome, really steep looking wooden coaster lift hill right there. It's funny. So when Jasmine saw this yesterday, she's like, "Oh, the bat." She's like, "Is that like the one at Kings Island?" I was like, "No, it's a different style of coaster, but um, this is really that's a cool sign, and obviously a cool name for the coaster." So, and,
Yeah, so the layout's a standard SLC coaster with a standard layout. TJ came up with the name, and I attempted to make a custom sign, and that's that's what I came up with. So
hey, it looks great. I
Yeah, I
mean,
think
it
so. Looks good.
looks believable. So is this a coaster that we should ride daytime and nighttime as well?
I mean, I think
Yeah.
just day will be all right. I mean, it's up to you if you want to do a night as well, but
Okay. Well, I'm
All
gonna
right.
keep the recording going, so let's um so we can just kind of talk through it if you want. So you said this is just a standard SLC layout.
yeah, you
Okay.
find that they're just cheap to maintain, and you find them in this country anyways, because they're pretty easy. Like most of the big theme parks, or most of the smaller theme parks, should I say, seem to have one because they look quite intimidating, but when really they're not that great. But it fit the
Yeah.
park.
Let me ask you this: in the UK, are they? So I've ridden like one or two of these. Now it's been a while, but I just remember them being rough. Are they
Yeah,
the
they're
same
all
way in the
rough.
UK?
Oh yes, yes. A
It's like
headbanger.
yeah, uncomfortably rough. But I mean, they look really cool. I do like the design of them in the game in terms of how they look and um,
Mm,
yeah. So this is also not one that's good to ride in front bumper because then your eyes get messed up with how the track is.
yeah.
So even riding in seat view, kind of seeing that middle bar of the track.
Yeah.
So that first inversion you did, or I guess it's the two inversions. Did you make those custom, or did you kind of do like the half loop, corkscrew, and then corkscrew and half loop again? Do you know?
Custom. Uh, I think it would, or one of them's custom. I think I started custom and then added an in
Okay.
piece on the end. So a half custom loop, I think I did, and then kind of like added the kind of corkscrewy bit at the top, I think.
Well, I think that looks really cool. 'Cause that's one thing I noticed when I was doing like a quick look around yesterday is just the look of this inversion is really cool. And so you said this is the type of inversion that a lot of the ones in Europe have. Is that right?
So yeah, so it's the standard version. Like there are parks that have their own kind of type of this, but this is like the default version of the coaster that
Okay.
most parks do have. I know Blackpool Pleasure Beach has one called Infusion, which is a water-based version, but it's this layout basically.
Okay. And then I love your detail too here at the end with how you did this transfer track. Like you left enough space to where it slows down here, and then you got block section, and just I love this detail here. You got the barn doors, which is a cool touch, um, and then just kind of how you built this area is really cool. So
Thank you. I know it's not as flushed out as your backstage kind of transfer tracks, but I think it does the job. It you can tell what it does.
oh yeah, well I mean it's so like on my new park, I've got some that are really fleshed out and some that aren't as much, just because like you get to a point for piece count, right? When it's like you
Yeah.
got to save the 100 or a couple hundred pieces you'd spend, or sometimes it can get tedious doing a lot of the detailed stuff for backstage. But I mean, I love this. Like, I've always kind of, for me, with doing these inverted coasters, I've always kind of felt like you almost have to have like the transfer track kind of be indoors just because of how it's above the track. But this is I'll definitely take some inspiration from this when my next inverted or flying coaster that I do for doing a transfer track. So this is really well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's see. So I guess we're going this way. Let me get the HUD off the screen again. So I think we're getting close to the end of the park, right? I think we got two more coasters.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
I
so
would
we got
probably ride the smaller one first before you ride the big one.
okay,
Make the big one last.
yeah. Oh, that's a cool little cue for that, and cool little. I always forget the term skinning of that ride. Is that right? Even
Yeah.
yeah, that's
A
kind of a
ride
cool little
skin.
touch. Ride skin. There we go. Um, Yeah, so is this just a looping coaster right here?
Yeah, it does two circuits. So when TJ put that third coaster in, I had 2% to play with, I think, and a load of trees to still put in. So I thought, right, I'll stick a coaster that's small, but it does the job. So and this is what I came up with.
Yeah. So one thing, I don't know if you guys know this. I'm sure you guys probably do. Is so pathing kills the meter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like for example, it's maybe not the most realistic, but I've started trying to always use 10-meter paths when possible because you can get like, I think it's like three times the amount of 10-meter paths per percent that you can for like a 4-meter path. And then especially like the 2-meter paths just like kill the counter. But also what's really interesting to me is because I know a guy on YouTube did this like in November and kind of tested it out, and that's where I've kind of learned some of the stuff. Is if you were to build paths on a grid, you can get about 2.5 times or 2.5 as many pieces of path per percent as if you didn't build it on a grid. So
Hmm.
it's really, really beneficial to if you've got like a lot of straight path, like an area where you're gonna have a lot of straight paths, just build it on a grid and then kind of manipulate it that way, because it doesn't take up near as much of the percent count, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. Yeah. I try to do grid as much as I can, especially with cues.
Hmm. Oh, for
Um,
sure.
and I hardly ever use shorter or smaller than 8, 7
Yeah.
meter, like on the size,
Mm-hmm.
because 4 is just it's too narrow, and they get, if you open your
They get
park
too
up in
jumbled.
4,000, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you ran into that issue with your one of your parks, didn't you, Tommy? It being real
Yeah,
congested.
yeah. A lot of my parks.
Yeah.
I don't do a general layout. I just build something and build around it, and then build even more. And I'm like, wait, I haven't put any paths in or anything.
Yeah. I think on my next park, I want to try to have like the whole layout kind of in mind beforehand, or not necessarily the whole layout, but maybe kind of where I want past to be, just to kind of, kind of have that idea of making sure everything is interacting well, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um,
I'll
so
usually build my coasters, and then I build my paths around my
right,
coasters,
yeah, um,
because I usually don't account for making a parking lot or an entrance usually.
right. I like this little coaster. Like you said, it's not much. I mean, it's about what, probably 1% towards the counter. So, um, yeah. Do y'all know how much extra percent y'all were able to get on this park roughly? Or
I think like 30
yeah. So that's
around
pretty.
there.
It's pretty amazing what you can do, not just with the PS5, but with all that extra percent, right?
I'd just
Right.
like to say how hard that coaster was actually to make.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, it's listed in the game as a shuttle coaster, but to actually make it shuttle was a pain in the ass.
So what did you mean to, instead of having it come here and going back through like they normally do, or
Yeah,
um,
so it because it has a back and forward launch, it wants to bring you forward and then launch you backwards and then launch you
oh,
forward. But to actually make it just go forward, I've had to use drag tires, which are not a launch, they're drag tires here.
yeah.
And just to make it long enough so when it comes back, it doesn't launch you again before hitting the station. So it was a bit of a pain, but we got there in the end.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't even notice that. I mean, I guess I did notice that the they didn't look like the normal launch track piece that you'd see.
Hmm.
But wow, that's yeah, really cool. So now I guess we got this last one, right?
Yeah, there's a little area past there you could check out before hitting the last
Okay.
coaster.
Yeah. So I think you made this one, right, TJ?
Yeah.
So is this the coaster you're most proud of in the park? Like the one that you just feel happiest about, or which coaster do you enjoy the most that you made?
I don't know. I mean, I really like both of them. I think the one on the jungle side has more theming, because this
Mm-hmm.
is just a bunch. I mean, this station is probably the best station in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
But as far as like theming, I think the jungle one looks
Yeah.
a little
Gr-
better.
I love seeing when people do this because it just adds something so simple, but yet adds so much realism to it, right? Just like making a cable
Hmm.
box, or yeah. Um,
I try to do that since watching your video, because I got that from your one of
yeah.
yours.
I appreciate it. I actually got it from Moomin because I saw Moomin do it on his series. I was like, oh, that's something that we can do without needing TMTK. I think he did on his very British park. But yeah, I like that transfer track or maintenance building. Really, really well done. Now, do you want me to continue going this way first, or was that what you were talking
Yeah,
about? Okay.
yeah.
Oh, so you got the little flat ride over here. So,
Yeah, just a flat ride and a bit of a dead end area, just to again add a
A
bit of
nice,
height.
yeah,
mm-hmm.
a nice viewpoint for the
Of the
coaster's
coaster.
first drop. Yeah,
Oh
that
wow. Oh,
first
so it's got
drop.
a turn. That's almost like um it's got a little bit of the, even though this has been turned into an RMC, kind of reminds me a little bit of the Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, where it's got that one doesn't have as drastic of a turn, but it's got that kind of turn to it on the first hill that makes you kind of that you normally don't see, right? You don't see drops normally turn like that.
Hmm.
That is a yeah, really great view. I love when you can get good views of coasters, and love the detail here for the bathroom and stuff, and how you kind of let some stuff kind of look overgrown and really well done.
Thank you.
A little staff building. So yeah, and so Voorhees, I'm guessing, is a day and night ride as well, right?
Yeah, I would ride night first, to be honest.
Okay.
Or, well, I guess it doesn't matter. I mean,
Yeah. So okay, that's a cool little um, how you did the detail on that little. Wow, I can't speak. You know what I'm saying? The support's there for the path. That looks
hmm,
so much better than the terrible in-game ones that they have.
yeah, I try to do custom supports for all pathing if I don't have it on the
Yeah,
ground.
agreed. I try to do custom fencing for all pathways. I just don't like the fencing and curbs that they give in the game. I
Hmm.
just yeah. But I like the queue, and let's skip ahead just a little bit. Yeah, you really detail your queues a lot, which looks really good. And I
Thank
like how
you.
you've got this little overhang too right there to kind of create the different dimensions. Because I feel like it's hard to make unique stations in this game sometimes because the game's so predicated on building everything in squares or rectangles. So
Hmm.
this is yeah, this looks really nice. So is this supposed to look like the cabin, right?
Yeah, like you got the bunk beds and place
Okay.
for bags.
Yeah, that's a really cool touch. Um, yeah, I mean this is a fantastic station. I gotta say though, your temple station is to me takes the cake.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's just so massive and majestic and unique. Oh, and then you've got like the window pieces here turned sideways to kind of look broken, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, really nice touch. All right, so let's look at these stats. So everything all green. Oh, 7.88. That's impressive. Yeah, G forces look good. So biggest drop. So this is like a 200-foot wooden coaster. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so we just got off Voorhees, and that is an impressive coaster, TJ. A
Thank
lot of
you.
airtime.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Really, now that I started making a lot of the woodies, and they're pretty easy to get a lot of airtime, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think they're the one I'm making in my current park, or made. I think that was like the first real wooden coaster I'd made in the game, and it was a lot of fun. So I definitely want to in my next park kind of make one kind of like this, where it kind of goes away from the station and kind of out to an area of the park that's not necessarily well traveled, right? Because it's always kind of
Hmm.
cool to have these. Like I feel like these are the coasters that have to go through the forest, you know.
Right.
And your brake run is really nice. Where is it? I guess it's this way, yeah. And let's see. Let me turn it back to daytime so we can actually see some stuff around here. But yeah, how you did your transfer track there, and then I think it was the. There were so many times where it just kind of dived down more than you thought, and
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I think this is really cool. So I think it comes through here a little fast, but I tend to do that as well. Because I think somebody said in
Yeah.
one of my videos one time that the coasters are coming in too fast into the brake area, but you know, it is what it is, right?
Hmm.
It's yeah, fantastic. So, and like we said, I like this first kind of curve drop. So really, really well done.
Thank you. It was
Yeah.
the first coaster that was built, so it was the kind of the stepping block,
And
the
so
starting block.
did you build it first and then build the terrain around it, or did you kind of build up some hills to kind of have an idea of how you wanted the hills or the hills on the coaster to be?
I built the coaster first, and then I did the terrain.
Yeah, because you make it look really natural with how you did the trees. So that's really, really well done. So I believe that we've seen everything, right?
I think the only thing you need to check out is in the parking lot.
Okay.
There's some VIP parking, some more shout
Okay.
outs.
Let's see. VIP parking. So it's got to be near the front.
And to your
So
left,
right here.
there,
Okay.
yeah.
So you got VIP parking. Oh, hold on. Let me get out of this camera mode. There we go. So TJ, of course, and then you and Tommy P, Claire. Oh, thanks for the shout out to us, to Jasmine and
Yeah.
I. Then you got Maddie. Hey, Maddie, look who came before you. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
Oh.
That's for Tommy CM, Mad Catter, Zombie Blood, Flip Cam. Awesome. So, well, I really appreciate the shout out there, and thank you guys so much for joining me. Before we go, is there anything else that you kind of want anybody who's watching this to kind of know about the park, or anything that maybe I didn't touch on?
Nothing really is in what you haven't touched on. I mean, great review. Thank you for having us, or having me, anyways. And just anyone who does download this park, any feedback would be great. You know, what we could change, what could be done
Mm-hmm.
better, just for future that I can take away for my next build, whatever that may be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll second what Tommy said, and thank you again for spotlighting it. I really appreciate it. And yeah, any feedback would be great, or suggestions, tips.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Of course. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, you know, continue to subscribe. Or, wow, I totally botched what I was saying there. What I meant to say was consider subscribing to stay up to date to all the Planet Coaster content we release. And if you need a park spotlighted at all, just let me know and Jasmine and I can definitely take a look. But like I said, guys, I mean, this is one of the best parks I've seen, and it's just fantastic, really well done. And so I really impressed with it. And thank you guys so much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day.